What's up, everybody? It's Coach Colton and
Coach Dom.
here at Columbus Martial Arts. I hope you're having a great day today. It's a little different, Coach Dom. It's normally just me on the videos. I have Coach Dom joining me here. Coach Dom, how you doing today?
I am fantastic.
Awesome. We just wanted to do a live video for you guys for upcoming tournament. If you wonder where we have a spring tournament coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. That's Saturday the 22nd. Sign up is still open for it. Weigh-ins are next week. I know all of my elite students, that's junior elite, elite leadership, you guys have to do the tournament as a required event. But all of my other classes, except for early skills, you can sign up for the tournament and do it as an optional thing if you'd like to. And how do you feel about tournament, Coach Tom?
Tournament is big time important for us, especially if we're doing different things like sportsmanship. It teaches us how to work in high pressure situations. It just helps us become more confident utilizing our skills and abilities.
Absolutely. And for some of you guys that don't know, Coach Dom actually trained with us for a very long time. He started training with us as a young lad, just as much facial hair, but a little bit shorter. And so I've got a surprise for you and a surprise for him today. We're going to break down some of his old tournament videos. You guys are going to get the chance to see a young Coach Dom today out there on the mats. And I have hand curated some videos for you guys. I picked a couple matches, some victories, some losses, just to show that human element. So Coach Dom, I know that you're a little older now and you kind of view competition through a certain lens, but when you were younger and you competed, what was that like? What was your head? What was your headscape going in? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What do you remember about tournament from when you were young?
Even now, being going into tournament, I was always very nervous. I didn't know how a lot of the matches were going to go. So every match I went in, I had a pep talk with myself, like, "Hey, we can do this. Hey, you've got this." But I was very, very nervous. Had the jitterbugs all in the belly.
Gotcha. And that nervousness, what were you nervous about? It's sort of kind of uncertain about the matches. Were you worried about losing? Were you worried about getting hurt? Were you worried about, how your family would like address it after, like what they would think of you? Could you like narrow down what specifically that nervousness was about?
It wasn't so much as getting hurt, but it was definitely a hit to my pride. I don't like losing.
Right.
I'm a sore loser.
Gotcha.
So it'd be, well, this person was better than me. What can I do to train better afterwards if I lose? But it was mainly just my pride. I'm a very sore loser. I like to lose.
Me too. And I think that it's a big thing to admit, is understanding that if you do have an ego, or if you do have pride, what role that plays in not just competition, but your day-to-day life. Because there's things that can hit your pride at school, at work, at home, on different sports teams. Sometimes that ego can take a bit of a hit. And I like what you said about, after the match, if you were to lose, how you come back and train better next time. Because that's a key part of being a martial artist and being a black belt. Just because you get your black belt, you're not perfect. There's going to be days that you lose. There's days that you mess up. But the big part there with leadership is, okay, well, I had this step back. How can I, put now 2 steps forward and get back on track and come back to be a better person? So, and you also said you're a sore loser. Do you think that the bigger motivator for you was like not wanting to lose, the fear of losing, or do you think it was the really good feeling of winning? What do you think was the biggest motivator for you?
Biggest motivator was definitely winning. Because when you win, you don't have to go back and learn anything anymore. But if you do lose, it's definitely a learning process. What can I do better next time?
Gotcha for sure. Well, let's dive right in. And by the way, families, students, parents, if you have any questions about the tournament, we're going to be doing a little bit of a longer video today, watching some footage, just having a good time before classes start here this afternoon. So drop those questions down in the comments. Let us know your personal experience with tournaments, competitions, with sports, and how you view that stuff. So I've started by pulling off what I will say I think is a pretty big firecracker of a match. So let's change our view here and get that video up and going. This match was a bit of chaos. I do have volume turned off. I thought I had volume turned off. Let's turn that down. There we go. So let's pause really quick. As far as chronological stuff goes, I pulled this tournament, I think it was from 2016, so about 7 years ago now. This is a Naga, so probably Atlanta, decent sized tournament, a couple hundred people there. I'm not sure if you remember this specific match or not, just with
I
the
did
opening
not.
seconds.
That's was a while ago. I
Yeah.
really remember that Noki. Can't fit it anymore,
Yeah,
but
yeah, little small Coach Dom. You can see the hair a bit shorter. The high def, we'll have to work on it to see that mustache, but pretty even matchup on the size. I think this is probably going to be one of your tournaments when you're closer to being a beginner. But a lot of action happens here, and so let's check it out and see what happens. Like I said, I have the blind tune off so you can hear us, and because things get a little crazy at bigger tournaments. So let's see. Shake of the hands. They step back. Ref says go, and they're into it right away.
into the clinch just already.
Yeah, a little tack on the knee there. A lot of movement. Oh, drops fast.
Right down into the guard.
Yeah, maybe he had a guillotine there, I think. The head popped out right away. A lot of forward pressure. Another guillotine. Yeah, I think he's going in on the guillotine.
He's really cranking it.
Oh, look at that. Jumped over, gave him the top position. Must have been a tight guillotine. And that was maybe his coach that got into frame there a second ago.
I have no idea what my brain's like going through at this time, but I know that I'm definitely at this point tired.
Oh yeah, breathing so fast. Do you find that like your brain works differently when you're in a match? Like there's sometimes not time to think.
Oh, definitely, 100%. There's a lot of instinct and muscle memory that goes into it, so your mind is really blank here.
Do you think about anything in there? Oh, good guillotine, a good Kimura attempt here.
A couple of times, yeah, you can definitely have points in time where you think maybe like here in the mount, but there are other times where you just can't because you're moving so quickly. Or you have a time to formulate a plan, like a couple seconds. It's not very easy.
Yeah, so that's when all that training pays off, and you build that muscle memory, like Coach Tom's talking about, because things can move really fast. A lot of times we're training, especially with the striking and stuff, we're keeping it 10, 20%. But when you turn that dial up, everything comes back to your training. So you're going to perform how you trained. And you might notice that they don't have the sparring gear on here. This is just a grappling competition, kind of like what our white uniforms do. So they do have submissions in there, but no striking, no punches or kicks. It's just the joint locks, the takedowns, and position. So a lot of submissions back here. Coach Dom's starting in a pretty good spot.
Cool. We're right into the armbar again. Really trying to get. This guy's very persistent. He doesn't want to get tapped out.
And do you go into your matches, Coach Dom, having a game plan in mind, or do you just kind of go in there and say, okay, I'm going to handle it as it goes?
I try to always have a game plan in mind, but 9 times out of 10, you lose that plan. It doesn't work the way you want it to, because at the same time, your fighter also has a game plan in mind.
Yeah, a couple of old teammates there on the left, back left side.
It's definitely hard to have a game plan, and in those times where they like break it, you can definitely like get another one back in, but it's always formulate the plan, you try to execute the plan, expect something to go wrong, and have a backup plan.
And I say you don't think about a lot in your matches, it's kind of more reaction, but you might not be thinking like specific thoughts, but like what's your emotion like in there? Are you trying to stay calm? Are you angry? Are you aggressive? Are you excited? Do you still have that nervousness? Like what emotions are fueling you when you're in these matches?
Well, once we shake hands, we dab, we bow, or we slap, we go and stay calm and trying to keep a level head, trying to keep a cool head. Still all the excitement, just really cool head.
Gotcha. Now this, I think we're near the end of the match here. Yeah, so you can see at the end there, Coach Dom just really applying a lot of forward pressure. Maybe not the best thing to do technically, but he was up on points. So at the very end of the match, just trying to stay heavy on top, not let any reversals happen, and just ride out the last 10, 15 seconds for points. So you can see him just trying to, his head's angled over towards the clock. He was looking over there at the time, and he knows that as long as he stays on top, the guy's not able to reverse the position in the last 20 seconds or so. He's going to walk away with a win. So good job, Coach Dom. A little hand raised there. You can see that the heights are very similar. I'm not sure what weight it's at, but a pretty fair matchup. It was a lot back and forth in the beginning. This guy was attacking a lot of choke attacks. Coach Dom got some good reversals, got on top of him in the mount at one point. some couple armbar attempts, couple Kimura attempts. So very action-packed match, competitive, but Coach Dom walked away with a victory here. I picked this match because there's a lot of action for you guys watching. There's a lot of movement in that match. Now I want to show the exact opposite.
Oh, no.
I have a match that is not quite as competitive, but I feel like there's, this video is supposed to be all in good fun. I said there's going to be some losses in there, and this is also, educational for the kids, so the students out there. So you see the even. Oh, toss. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh, we don't use this for live video a lot. Remove. Add. Enhance. So you saw the height and the weight breakdown on the last video.
Oh wow!
Now, Coach Dom, I was gonna say you should remember this one.
I do.
You can see Coach Dom's center screen. Everything's a lot of black and red going on, so everything's kind of blending in. But you see Coach Dom, middle screen. You see the opponent, left side of the screen. It looks like he ate Coach Dom. Not because he's like overweight, but he's just a big guy. And this is a little bit of a newer match. I think maybe 2018. So Coach Dom competed with us for a long time, and he kind of started and just did the normal tournaments. But as you get better, you always want to push yourself. And Coach Dom got to be really, really good. And sometimes what would happen is to challenge him even more, because you guys know that Coach Colton likes to sometimes put people in, some tough situations. So we would have them compete in higher weight brackets or in more experienced brackets to make them, go and have even more adversity, because the goal is not always to win 100% of the time. Sometimes it's to learn, like we talked about. So in this match, Coach Dom, who's very athletic, very strong. If you've ever wrestled with Coach Dom on the mats, if you've seen him break the boards, you see him do the kicks, this guy's a strong guy, athletic. Even when he was young, athletic. But we put him here a little bit out of his depth as far as the size goes to really test him on the technique side. So you can see that he's going in this match against a guy who's a bit bigger. And I think this is in Florida. I think this is a Florida competition. Oh, big jump there. Okay. That is a great example. Let's rewind that. Okay. A little bit of initial scramble. You're going to see Coach Dom jump up. Okay. Kaboom. One, like I said, athletic.
That was wild.
Wild. Coach Dom, walk him through what you're doing here. Why are you doing that kind of emotion against this big guy?
The real point was to try to really get him down to the ground here.
Okay.
But not in the most effective way possible. Seeing this from a couple years in the future perspective.
You live and you learn, yeah.
Not a very efficient way to do it. But in that mind, I was like, okay, what can I really do here to get this guy on the ground? Obviously, he's a much bigger guy than I am. And it was just one way or another. And as we saw, later on in the video, eventually we got down to the ground.
Yeah, eventually you get down to the ground.
Not the way I wanted it to happen, but the whole mindset there was just, man, this is new. It's different. What can I do here to this guy?
Right. So I'll say ambitious, different, ambitious, thinking outside the box. However, not something I would call a self-defense motion. So if I have any students out there watching this, not something that I would encourage for self-defense. And you can see why. Coach Dom jumps up. He kind of has that big jump of athleticism, but then immediately that guy pushes him. Okay. I'm not sure if you see that. Coach Dom's head just hit the ground right there. And luckily we're on some mats here. Not something you want to do in a self-defense situation, but definitely creative. And then he's going for some advanced techniques here. That guy on top, just a beast. Look at, and then that perspective, really you see not how big the guy is, but how wide he is. He's got wide shoulders. He's just a big guy. I love the videos and the breakdown. Thank you. We're doing something a little different today. I hope you guys like it out there.
And this is the realistically speaking aspect. Not everything, not everyone that you get into an altercation with, someone that bullies you, is going to be the same size as you. Sometimes they will be bigger than you are, and they will be stronger than you are.
100%. And we're training for that competition. Something we do twice a year on the side. It's not our main focus. Our main focus is that self-defense. That's a great point, Coach Dom. And in the self-defense world, they don't care how big you are. So this is a great example of, hey, you know, we're dealing with some adversity here. How can we get past this guy? So we get back up to the feet, a little squirrely. Definitely don't want that big guy on top of us if possible.
Oh,
So
definitely not.
you said you remember this match. What do
Dude,
you remember specifically?
I
Like, were you nervous?
specifically,
Were you excited? Were you like, oh my gosh?
I was excited because it was something new, but at the same time, I was nervous because it was, something new. This guy was maybe what, 1.5 times my weight. He's literally 2 me's.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
Not only that, he was very, very strong too. And with weight, that equals pressure, so he's also very heavy. I was trying my best not to let him get on top of me, trying to stay up and really work on not being down on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't remember. You kind of went up with weight as you competed. I don't remember what exactly you're competing here. I want to say maybe 140, 150 tops. And this guy is 230, 240 by looking at him.
He was way over the 200 realm here.
When you guys see these bigger weight classes, they're not going to move as much. There's not as much movement as last time. It's kind of like a chess game because they know this guy by now probably feels Coach Dom's strength. He's like, man, this guy is strong. I'm getting tired because I'm big, and the longer this match goes, oh, he jumps for it again. Okay. Well, I was about to say it was completely wrong. Now, let's back up. And this part, I'm thinking, okay, Coach Dom and him are kind of biting for position, biting for time because Coach Dom knows I just had this guy on top of me. It was really heavy, really tough to get out. Other guys, like this guy is crazy. He's jumping. He's throwing some crazy stuff up. If I let him on top of me, he's fast,
Right.
So I'm thinking, hey, we're going to be patient. We're going to wait for our opportunity to get on top of him. And then Coach Dom
does
this. Yet again, he goes, as the kids say, yeet. Yeah, he's going to eat up there. He's going to jump up there like Spider-Man, climb the building, and try and get the choke, which you do love those guillotine chokes.
Dude, it's probably one of my favorite things here.
So he jumps up, he gets around the neck, and he tries to do the choke. But you can see they're on the edge of the mat. They're close to the ref. I watched the video back, and I see the ref saying some things here to your ear. There's a little bit of a break in the action. Do you remember what the ref says to you in this moment?
Not exactly, but definitely with this particular ref, I know he's like, man, you gotta stop jumping there.
Yeah, I think this ref, we actually know this ref because through like mutual friends, we know this guy. He's a good guy. And so in my mental space, he's probably saying, hey, this guy's huge. What are you doing jumping like that? You can get yourself hurt. The ref's supposed to be impartial, but also, refs' main things is safety. So where you can't really give Coach Dom tips and hints, he's probably saying, Coach Dom, don't jump. This guy's going to slam you. Your head bounced off the ground earlier on the mat. What are you doing, my guy?
A little brain jiggle right there.
Yeah, he said, get back out there and don't be a doofus again. So they're back to the standing position. Do you like the guillotine or the Kimura more? I see you doing both a lot.
I probably like, since they're both in guard, I probably like the Kimura more. I feel like it's a more it's a much more beautiful submission than the guillotine would be. The guillotine's like quick and easy. It's like grabbing fast food in and out.
The Kimura takes a little bit more time, a little bit more finesse.
And it's just overall a more beautiful submission to do.
Gotcha. So he gets you back on the ground, on the far side. This other ref's making sure the groups don't overrun, but he's kind of blocking the cam. We're in half guard, so you got one of the legs tied up. Looks like he kind of just gets tired there. You scramble out with some stiff arms. I think this match is near its end. Yeah, we have about 20 seconds left on it. Oh, good attempt on the takedown. Didn't commit to it. We're deep into the round. When you're actually going live in competition, do you find that you get tired more quickly than in the training room?
Just because of all the jitters and everything else, you don't breathe properly. So this is another thing I was talking about, how to work in high pressure situations where you do have to find yourself breathing properly, because if not, you're going to get more tired and more exerted a lot quicker than you would usually.
Have you ever gotten sick at a tournament?
I have.
Yeah.
This was actually in California both times.
Ooh. So traveling far for those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got sick both times.
Just because of like the anxiety and the stress.
And the fact that it's, world tournaments.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. It was overwhelming. And then didn't eat the best of food the night before.
Well, if you guys don't know, Coach Dom's notorious for being fit and slim. He's got the young people metabolism still. where he just eats like 20 like McDoubles or whatever he eats, and he's just got the washboard abs. So yeah, and I'm gonna bring that up, not to be gross, but because I have had several students get sick in the past and have to go run off to the restroom. Actually, one great student of ours, Aiden Uwe, just received his black belt. Shout out Aiden. He talked about it in his junior black belt speech. He talked about how he was very, very, forget the word, nervous, shy, kind of humbled when you came to the tournament and he got sick, and it caused him some fear going out there again. He thought it was going to happen again. And man, that's a huge reason why we do this tournament. It's not to get the gold medal. It's not to see who can beat up who. It's just to put yourself out there in those stressful situations, because we all have to deal with stress and anxiety in our own lives, whether it's martial arts, tests at school, projects, public speaking, sports, job interview. Everyone in their life has to deal with stress, and being able to cope with that and being able to manage that in a healthy way is absolutely critical to being successful. So, at least in martial arts, maybe you go to California or you go to Florida, you're never going to see those people again in your life, right? So maybe you blow chunks, you throw up in front of a room full of strangers, and you deal with that uncomfortable situation. You can never see those people again, right? And it is stressful and it is upsetting. And I know in the moment it can feel like it's in the world, but it's not. All those students that I've seen that get gotten nervous, who maybe have had to excuse them, I love all those students. They're still amazing people. They're still on the path to their black belt, as long as they don't give up in that moment. They don't let that detract them. It shouldn't be this thing where, oh, I'm afraid of this thing that happened to me in the past. It's always there looking over my shoulder. If you let that, that's going to cripple you. That's going to, make it miserable. So that's the point where, parents who are watching the videos out there, coaches, big siblings, whoever's watching, that's when you got to step in and help that student and coach them, not towards quitting and letting that fear kind of subdue them, but towards that, hey, we're going to break through this wall. So not as exciting as the last match, just kind of a David Goliath situation. Ultimately, I think he gets it on points. He gets his hand raised there. So Coach Dom's 1-1. I've got a final video I pulled, another competitive match. So let's watch that last one, and then it's probably going to be time to set in for classes today. But thank you guys for joining and watching us. If you have any comments or questions about competition, martial arts, Coach Dom's experience, ask away while we've got him here on the video. Ask away. So let's see. Let's get our last video file up. So this one I know for sure by the venue. It's another Florida tournament. Lighting isn't as great here, but Coach Dom's on the right. We have a lot of natural sunlight coming in on the backside. This video surprisingly didn't have sound on it, but really? I'll take it off just in case it glitches in or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe who's ever recording, they're cupping the microphone or something. So another competitive match, close in size. Coach Dom jumping into the guard again.
My favorite position of all time is working in the guard. I just feel like I have a lot of power in the guard.
We have that show Backyardigans. We call Coach Dom the Back Guardigan. I just made that up. That's not true. Did you have a nickname, Coach Dom, other than Dom?
Did not. Besides the garbage disposal.
The garbage disposal?
Yeah, we ate all the food.
Coach Dom's short for Coach Dominus Maximus Aurelius the third.
The third. Yeah. Who was the first?
I don't know. You gotta figure that one out. That's a black belt secret. So Coach Dom's in the guard again. This guy on the top did a good job. He's been keeping the elbows on the inside. He's got that structure where Coach Dom's not down. And Coach Dom's really known for that kind of kickstand up on it. He gets on his arm and he kind of gets this weird, unorthodox position. It's not a normal position there.
Right. As I've seen these videos, I see a lot in my own jiu-jitsu where it's not normal. It's not something you'd see like in any other like competitive match or with like black belts or purple belts or anything like that. It's very it's unique. Right? In my opinion, everyone has their own unique martial arts style. Yeah.
And that's where you kind of talk about style. As far as getting taught, style doesn't really matter too much. I think there's just objective, sometimes there's just objectively good technique and bad technique. And then sometimes you can put your own spin on things. And when you take those moves that you like, you kind of create your own style of martial arts, which is super cool. When you well, first, how many matches do you think you've had? If you had a guesstimate,
If I had to guess, I'd say comfortably around 60 or so.
60. So that's a lot of matches. Of course, you've been training for a very long time. Have you ever been injured in any of your matches?
Never, actually. Never actually been injured, but of course, you get hit in certain places and you feel it, you get the wind knocked out of you,
Some
different things
bumps and
like that.
bruises. Yeah.
But never have I been injured
Yeah.
in a match.
And I want to bring that up just because I think a lot of students, a lot of parents have a fear of that as well. And it's pretty safe, um, especially when you compare it with other sports, baseball, basketball, football. A lot of injuries happen. So yeah, or on that Kimura, which you said is your favorite move, you're getting kind of close to the edge. So some places it's kind of it's very 50-50. If you're near the end and you almost have to move, sometimes they'll let you go a little bit off than that. Here at tournament, if you get close to the edge of the mat, we're going to restart you, and we're not going to start you back with the submission because it's not really fair. You get the arm back in the middle of the mat, you're just going to go poof, and you win the match right away, right? So, but yeah, any sport where you're like on the hard basketball court, cleats on,
Jump right there.
yeah, another jump. Coach Dom's the jump master.
Seems like it was successful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, jumping
Boom.
guillotine. A lot of what I used to do.
So it's instant replay of that because that was so fast. I missed it for a second. I'm not sure if you guys saw it or not, but they kind of go to the left side here, and Coach Dom pulls off his patented dunk.
Grady asked, "How many have I won?" I have a lot of silver and bronze medals and gold medals, so
Samesies.
I've lost a lot. I've won maybe 40% of all the matches I've done.
Yeah. See him jump. He jumps here. The guy picks him up and puts you in the guard. Probably not a good idea. And he just quickly goes to the side, finishes the choke. The guy taps right away, and that's 2-1, Coach Dom. But yeah, I think with me. Stream. Oh, there we go. Sorry, wrong button. Hopefully, you guys can see us. Yeah, we've both had a ton of matches, and I think you would collect a lot of gold, a lot of bronze and silver medals. Do you have your medals displayed any kind of way?
Nope, they're all in the top of my closet in a bunch of old like Spartan duffel bags.
They weigh a lot, right?
They definitely weigh a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot in my closet.
The medals are, you get a good medal when you hold on to it. It's heavy. You hold it, and you're like, oh man, this is a quality medal right here. It's heavy. It's a heavy one. Coach Dom, while I have you here, anything you want to say to the students that are competing week after next? Anything you want to tell them?
Make sure you guys eat a good breakfast, banana, drink a lot of water the night before. Make sure your muscles are all nice and calmed, soothed. Make sure you guys stretch the morning of. You guys don't want to have bad joints, but definitely make sure number one thing is you have fun. Always practice your technique. If you do a little bit the night before, it's 100% gonna help you. But just making sure that we're taking care of our bodies, we're taking care of ourselves, making sure that the nails and stuff like that are clipped. Make sure you guys take a shower. I'm watching you guys. And then just making sure that we are having a good time. This is a tournament where you guys can learn all kinds of different character traits, making sure that we're becoming, better leaders, better partners, and just connecting with each other overall.
Yeah. Talk about getting sick. Don't forego breakfast just because you're worried about getting sick. Otherwise, you'll be completely drained of your strength. So you want to eat something not greasy, not fatty, not super heavy. Like I said, oatmeal, cereal, pancakes. Honestly, not too bad. Just some carbs and some good hydration. I probably want to drink a million coffees if I have any students that drink coffee. Juice. Probably not a lot of dairy, so I probably want to go milk with breakfast. Juice, water, carbs, all going to be good. Get you some sugars in there, get you some carbs. It'll last you. A little bit of protein if you want as well. Just watch because a lot of the breakfast protein options for traditional foods kind of fatty. So if you go sausage or bacon, you can kind of upset your stomach a little bit, give you indigestion. But protein bars, great. Just anything quick and easy, simple foods like that. And then, of course, good hygiene, like Coach Dom said. You don't want to scratch your opponent. Don't want to be Wolverine with the fingernails. Sometimes we hear the folklore of like people who like won't. Back in the old day, maybe they won't like shower for 2 weeks before the tournament to try and tap their opponent out with just their stink cloud.
Right.
You don't want to be the stinky person. So good hygiene, good breakfast, good night's sleep. Save the dubs on Fortnite for a different night. Go to bed early and just rest up. But next week in class, every day you come to class, we're going to be doing our weigh-ins before class. So if you've signed up, I believe sign-ups will close this Saturday. I'll double check on that. And I'll, of course, do a couple of extra videos as we get closer to the tournament. Sign-ups are open now. Weigh-ins will be next week. Whatever day you come to class, we'll weigh you in just once. So as long as you come to a class next week, you're good. If you don't come to class next week and you do the tournament, we're going to have to guess your weight, and that can lead to some bracketing issues. So we want to make sure that everyone is having the fairest match possible because, like Coach Dom said, it is supposed to be fun, nervous, but fun. It's like getting on a roller coaster, in line, you're watching all the people on the roller coaster. You're excited, you're nervous. There might be that pit of like worry in your stomach, but then as soon as you get on and you get on there for 5 or 10 seconds, you find out that you're not going to get flung into oblivion and explode in a cloud of flames. It becomes pretty fun. So that's the same kind of best way I can describe it if you haven't competed before. We do have all the rules out on the student app. If you navigate to your curriculum section and you want to watch those tournament handbook videos, they are a little lengthy, but it does go through it. We'll, of course, have a rules meeting the morning of as well. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. It was great hanging out with you guys a little bit before class. Thank you for everyone who watched the videos today. And Coach Dom, thank you for your time. Hopefully, maybe we can do like this video. If you want some more videos with Coach Dom, we'll give Coach Dom a segment too. We will see you guys on the mat soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.